Welcome to our demonstration of over-the-air cross-platform infection for breaking mTAN-based online banking authentication. The video is split in 3 parts. In the first part, we will show how mTAN authentication works. To avoid any trouble with real banks, we created a bank simulator which provides the same functionality. The second part will explain and demonstrate how our attack works. And the last part shows how a successful attacker can now transfer money to his account. Now, in order to do a transaction, the user first has to authenticate to the bank. This is normally done by entering a user ID and a password. Next, the user will enter the destination and the amount of money he likes to transfer. The bank now generates a transaction authentication number, which can be thought of as a one-time password for the transaction and which is only valid for a short period of time. It is important to notice that not only the mobile TAN is sent, but also the recipient and the amount of money, so the user can verify the correctness of this transaction. To complete the transaction, the user has to enter this generated mTAN. The scheme is supposed to be secure, because even if the computer gets infected by malware, although it can steal the login credentials, it can't do a transaction because it still needs a valid TAN. Thus, for the attacker to be able to bypass the scheme, it is necessary to take control over the mobile device which receives the TANs. This is considered as a hard problem. While this was a reasonable assumption back in the time when mobile devices' functionality was limited to telephony and SMS, we now show that this assumption does not apply to modern smartphones. An attacker who has full control over the computer can easily infect the mobile device by means of direct cross-device infection. This can be done through any interface, like Bluetooth, USB, or Wi-Fi. We show the cross-device infection over Wi-Fi because many users connect both devices to the same wireless network, for example at home, at work, or in hotels. The attack itself consists of 2 phases. In the first phase, the computer aims to become a man in the middle. This can be achieved differently. We use the DHCP starvation attack in combination with a rogue DHCP server. Now that the infected PC installed itself successfully as a man in the middle, it can substitute any requested web page with a malicious one. Such a malicious web page would contain an exploit against the browser to get code execution on the mobile device. In our case, the shellcode downloads and executes a binary from the infected PC, which contains the malware for the mobile device, and a root exploit to start the malware with root privileges. As you can see, full control over the PC means that the PC malware can easily steal the login credentials during a normal authentication against a bank server. But again, these are useless for an attacker if he wants to perform a more security-critical task, such as transferring money to another account. We designed this attack to be very stealthy, so to make it more comprehensible for you, we've created some console output. For now, you can see the HTTP post request, which was captured previously and contains the login credentials for the bank. On the right side is the target mobile device, which is about to join the wireless network. Normally this will happen automatically when the user comes, for example, home from work. In our case, we simulate this behavior by simply activating the wireless interface. As soon as the mobile device accepted the network configuration from our rogue DHCP server, you can see how all HTTP requests are forwarded to a local server which runs on the infected machine and which answers all these requests with a page containing the exploit. So when the user eventually opens the browser, it doesn't matter to which page he wants to browse. All these pages are substituted with a page containing the exploit. So now it looks like the browser has crashed. In reality, the exploit just downloaded and started the mobile device malware. The malware will reset the mobile device's network configuration, so when the user now opens the browser again, everything will work as expected. In the meantime, the mobile device malware reported the mobile device's phone number to the PC malware, which reports the phone number and the authentication credentials to an attacker's server. The attacker is now in possession of the authentication credentials and has full control over the mobile device. As said before, the user can now browse again to any web page without being redirected to the infected PC. We switch now to the attacker's workspace. On the left side will be a view on the infected mobile device, in the middle the website of our bank, and on the right side will be the server which collects all the stolen data. The attacker now uses the stolen credentials to authenticate against the bank server and types in the destination and the amount of money he likes to transfer. As demonstrated in the first part, at this point a mobile TAN is generated and sent to the mobile device which is associated with this account. However, this time the malware on the mobile device will intercept the reception of the new SMS, suppress it so the user won't notice anything, and forward it to the attacker's server, where it will pop up after a few seconds. The attacker finally just copies the mobile TAN to complete the transaction. In this video we demonstrated that direct cross-device infection is a feasible approach for bypassing mTAN authentication. Although we only demonstrated how to use cross-device infection to break mobile TAN authentication, this attack scenario affects of course any two-factor authentication which involves a smartphone. While the overall attack scenario is new, each involved attack step is based on known attack techniques, such as man-in-the-middle and Wi-Fi networks, remote exploitation, or privilege escalation to gain root privileges. This implies that the attack can be implemented by a knowledgeable attacker and is a real threat of today's online banking.